above the blue waters of Seneca Lake, where wine country meets raw horsepower, sits one of America's most legendary racetracks. This is Watkins Glen, a cathedral of speed, a cornerstone of road racing history. From the days of open-wheel icons to the thunder of muscle cars, Watkins Glen has hosted the brave, the bold, and the unforgettable. And today, the tradition continues with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. 12 corners, endless elevation, and every twist and turn, just like this season, is unpredictable. The TA and TA2 classes arrive with storylines that swerve, tight battles, surging rookies, and seasoned champions who know this place shows no mercy. This is where legacies are tested and where the next chapter begins. Welcome to the Trans Am Racing Series presented by Pirelli. High in the hills above Seneca Lake sits a 3+ mile serpent sprawled out through the rolling countryside. Like a siren of speed, she will tease and tempt a driver. Are you feeling brave? Can you hold the throttle open a little longer? Maybe brake a little later? If you succumb to her temptations, you will become a footnote in the history of this legendary circuit. Win here, and you can become a living legend whose name will forever be whispered through the trees around this famed American speed palace known as Watkins Glen International. Hi everybody, welcome to the Glen. Ralph Sheheen here with you. You know, if you were here in 2017, a young driver by the name of Lally had his first ever Trans Am race here. Won the pole, set the fastest time, and won the race. And Andy now has progressed to being the president of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. That's a heck of a story.
That was a heck of a start and a big, massive amount of fun that I had that day. Claudio Burton and the guys down there gave me a shot in 50 car. Ironically, this is the 50th Trans Am race at Watkins Glen, so really looking forward to sharing some old stories, and have been having fun, enjoying, reminiscing with the fans that we had here this weekend here, talking about that time. That was 8 years ago. Seems like a longer time ago, but an absolute blast. And of all places to rip a Trans Am car around a track, Watkins Glen is the spot.
Yeah, technically, Sebring is the birthplace of the Trans Am Series, the site of the very first race in 1966. But you talk about places like Laguna Seca and Watkins Glen, and their history within the series is huge.
It is, and any car that you race at Watkins Glen is amazing. But 900 horsepower. Heard me say it over and over again. Tricky car to drive. An absolute rocket ship is flying up through the S's, trying to hold it flat out here, and coming up to the bus stop at 180 miles an hour, flying over those curbs, negotiating the rest of these fast sweepers here. There's just nothing like it.
As we said, 50 years ago, the first Trans Am race was held here. Let's take you back and show you some of the history of Trans Am at the Glen. Nestled in the heart of New York's Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen International isn't just a racetrack. It's a proving ground, a temple of speed, and a cornerstone of American motorsport. It all started in 1948, not with a track, but with public roads, sports cars roaring through the village streets. After too many harrowing incidents on the public roads, the decision was made to build a permanent road course in the hills above Seneca Lake. In 1956, Watkins Glen International was born. Since then, almost every major sanctioning body has tested its driver's mettle on the upstate New York circuit, including Formula One, IMSA, and of course, NASCAR. By the mid-60s, as the Trans Am Series thundered to life, Watkins Glen answered the call, offering up its twists and elevation as a battleground for pony cars and legends. From the golden age of American iron to the cutting-edge machines of today, the Glen has hosted it all. From wild side-by-side sprints to championship-deciding duels. It's a place where history clings to the guardrails, and the echoes of V8s from every era still hang in the trees. Year after year, the Trans Am Series returns to Watkins Glen. not just to race, but to write the next chapter in a story 75 years in the making. Watkins Glen International, the past, the present, and the pulse of Trans Am racing. Andy, in your mind, if you had to put it shortly, what is the key to being fast at Watkins Glen?
You've got to get the car right, and then you've got to have the guts to hold that right foot down to the floor, because this is tricky. You get big speed into the S's, and the car doesn't tell you it's okay to be flat until about 3 seconds after it's not okay to be flat.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the confidence that you've arced it in right, and that grip is going to be there when the car rolls into that hill. If not, it's too late. You can't get out and get back in and expect to keep that momentum roll from the bottom of 2 all the way to that bus stop.
Yeah, you're already committed. Well, the fan walk is underway, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to immerse you into the fan walk and see the cars up close before we get racing with Paul Menard and the rest here live on Speed Sport 1.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best race and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, pile-high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
We are back here at Watkins Glen International Raceway, looking down from our drone onto the car at the front of the grid. Dyson on the pole, Adam Andretti starts second, Paul Menard inside of row 2, Tomy Drissi next to him. Then it has Gralla and David Tarek. And then that is Amy Ruman, although it's not a red Corvette. Amy had a pretty heavy impact coming out onto the front straightaway yesterday afternoon, and her red Corvette sustained some very significant damage, although when you look at it cosmetically, it doesn't look that bad. But underneath, she was telling me about an hour or so ago, the car is all kinds of tore up, the frame is bent and so forth. So they're going to focus on getting that car ready for 6 weeks from now when we go to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park outside of Toronto, and she's going to do a start park today, Tomy Drissi's number 7. And we are going to go down into the middle of the fan walk. Here's our buddy Eddie Kerr.
Fantastic day for Trans Am racing here. We have a dozen cars across our TA class and our multiple GT classes, and let's run you through just the atmosphere you get for coming to Trans Am race. It's not just you get to sit in the stands, you get to meet the drivers, you get to have autographs be signed, and you get right up close and personal as you get to see the 55 there in Milton Grant, who has been such a key part of this SGT class. He was the champion in 2022, currently signing some autographs. As we move forward up the grid to the 00 of Ray Mason, made a start earlier this season at Mid-Ohio. Ray, going into this race, just how are you feeling to run this Watkins Glen track?
Well, look, it's an intimidating track. I haven't been here in quite a while. And these things with 530 horsepower, I'm a little on the scared side, but I'll get it. So it's going to be a big practice session for me. So we'll get going faster and faster as the race wears on.
And those who haven't, driven around a track before, what are, in your opinion, the most challenging sections of Watkins Glen?
Coming out of turn one, going up through the S's, and then it's surprising how fast you can take the bus stop if you really got to tighten it up and go through this. So all important stuff.
All right, thank you so much, Ray. Best of luck. And moving up to this beautiful yellow-black Corvette, a guy who has had a lot of experience racing GT cars north of the border of Canada. James Beaton joined us for Trans Am this weekend. And James, just how are you feeling to be racing here in the States at a track like Watkins Glen?
One of my favorites. Been coming in for years and wouldn't feel normal if I wasn't here, sort of thing. So, no, look forward to it. And, it's a little bit hotter than we're used to, but we can survive.
And then what makes this one of your favorite tracks?
The speed, cornering speeds and overall. And, it presents its challenges, sort of thing, kind of like, VIR and Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and, the faster ones. It's kind of the older school, like sort of stuff that we grew up on, right? So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, James, and best of luck. Thank you. Moving up towards the front of our SGT class, the guy who has just been fantastic throughout the entire course of the season. Josh Carlson here in the number 36 has been dominant. He is your championship leader in the class in that beautiful blue and black Ford Mustang, getting ready to roll off. And then moving up here, an interesting story. Amy Ruman has had to move to a different car for the race this afternoon. She started in her normal number 20. She started in her normal car and then moved into the number 7 at Drissi Motorsports because of an incident earlier in the weekend. Amy, how lucky are you to be able to step into a different car and then still have the chance to start this race today?
Yeah, I'm super grateful for Tommy and let me climb in this number 7 and try to get some points for us today, stay in the points championship race. And unfortunately, yesterday we had a real big crash with the McNichols 23 Valley Automotive Group Chevrolet Corvette, and it was early on in the test session, and a piece of suspension broke, sending us straight into the wall. There's nothing much I could do about that. So just really grateful for the opportunity today and, try to get some points here and stay in it.
All right. Thank you so much, Amy. Yep. Moving forward to the 57, David Pantera currently running P6 in the championship. Seeing right up with the bodywork of the car and going into this race. What makes you about running this Watkins Glen track?
Well, just Watkins Glen. It's an iconic track, and it gets our attention going up those S's. It's a racer's racetrack.
And then, does it make it any different for you inside the car, given how warm it is being in I-80s today?
Yeah, the track is slicker when it's hot like this, so you've got to act accordingly. You got to save the tires as much as possible and understand it's 100 miles still long. It sounds like a short race, but it's a long race, and you got to save the car and the tires and the brakes.
All right, thank you so much. Best of luck today. Moving up to this bright pink, fantastic livery for the number 2 at Kaz Gralla, and it's been a few years since you ran in the Trans Am series, but having some Xfinity starts this year and then being able to step back into the TA car, what makes this car different from some of the other stock cars that you get to drive on a more regular basis?
Well, it's like turning up the grip and the power to 500%. These things are so fast. Glad to be back here with you guys, with Pancho Weaver. Thanks to Overplay for giving me a chance to play this weekend. I'll be back here at Watkins Glen for the Xfinity race next month, so this is perfect for me to get warmed up, get reacquainted here, and to have some fun, because, man, these things are a blast, and they are so fast. I mean, we are hauling around here, 1:45 seconds. So it's going to be fun today. We don't maybe have the pace that we hope that we have. We're P5 here on the grid. Maybe we can try to pick 1 or 2 of them off. But we might need a little luck in this race here.
All right, thank you so much, guys, and best of luck. He was a winner in his last race in Trans Am going back to 2022 at Road America. As we move up to the front 2 rows, Tomy Drissi in the number 8 will start the race in 4th position in that fantastic black livery and scheme. And then moving up next to the top three. He was fastest in practice, and he is P3 in qualifying. Paul Menard, excited to get going here at Watkins Glen. Are you looking forward to this race?
Oh yeah, Watkins Glen's a great track. Been coming here for years. Only second time with the boot, but still learning that part of the track. But it's always great to see the fans up here. The S is the bus stop, very historic parts of motorsport, and we'll go see what we have.
And then being quickest in practice, do you think you have the pace in this car to be able to get to the front?
Yeah, I felt really good about the car. We actually had a little ignition issue had a miss in the engine in qualifying, so we're a little bit down on power, but still qualified third. We got that fixed, and only got 2 cars to pass, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Best of luck. And then moving to the front row, always great to be able to talk to the number 17 of Adam Andretti. And Adam, been hanging right up near the front all weekend. You have 5 podiums on the season, looking to make it 6 this afternoon.
Oh, 100%. And you always want to be at that top step, but these 2 next to me are going to make that quite the challenge. But this top-liner Chevrolet Camaro has been running well all weekend long. We unloaded pretty fast. We put in a pretty good qualifying run this morning, and just got to get 100 miles in, run our race, and focus on that, and focus on what we have here and the big picture, and bring home a good race for the fans out there. Thanks for tuning in, and looking forward to a good show.
And then starting on the front row, what is your strategy kind of going into the start of this race?
For the green flag to drop and figure it out from there, because any strategy you have goes right out the window the second that rag drops. So we'll just, it all depends really on what happens with these 2 on the start, where I will position myself.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate it as always. And then moving to the top spot on the grid, a fantastic run of poles for this team. And then Chris Dyson is the next car on pole for today's race at Watkins Glen. Chris, just how are you feeling being able to lead this field to green?
Well, I feel great. The Jim Weed car's been fast here the whole weekend, and obviously we've got some family and friends here. We had a great race here last year. I mean, everybody wants to win at the Glen, so it's going to be a tough fight, but I feel like we've hit the ground running here.
And then you mentioned family and friends being here. Just how cool is it to be able to race in your home state of New York?
Yeah, we just love it. I mean, and a good turnout here. Awesome for the promoter to have us back here year after year. I think we put on great shows, and obviously it's not far down the road from our home in Poughkeepsie. So all the boys are looking to try to get a win on the board today.
And then fantastic to hear from Chris Dyson. We have 2 cars in the championship fight trying to chase down championship leader Paul Menard on the front row. And we'll see how Chris Dyson and Adam Andretti fare. And back to you, Ralph.
All right, Eddie, thanks. And there is Paul Menard, one of the few drivers in the field, along with Kaz Gralla, who have actually run both the short course, which NASCAR runs here, and the long course, which everybody else runs here. So we had a chance to chat with Paul about the difference between the 2 different layouts.
Like Mid-Ohio, I think we had the best car. I got spun turn 1. I just made a mistake and went off on my own. But I think we had the best pace in the race. Road America, we just couldn't hang with them down the straightaway. I felt like through the back half of Road America with the technical section, we were faster, and under braking, I was way better than those guys. But they'd pull us too much down the straightaway where I couldn't really make anything up. And then had a flat tire. So bad points for us a couple weeks ago, but we're just going to maximize this week with hopefully keep the tires on the car, keep the car on the track, and have a good pace throughout, and we'll gain some points. Yeah, first time I ever came to Watkins Glen was 03 is my first ever NASCAR Cup Series start with Andy Petrie Racing. Big eye opener. Got to race against all my heroes. Wound up beating Jeff Gordon on the last lap, which was really cool. To finish 29th, I think it was. So, and been coming back pretty much every year since. So, my last NASCAR start was here in a truck series. I think we finished 6th or 7th. A few years ago, but yeah, it's a fun track. First running the boot was last year with Trans Am. All my previous starts have been on the short course, so obviously had to learn a series of corners that I had never run before. But the rest of the track's the same old Watkins Glen, high speed, great passing zones. It's a track where you can really pass at. You can set up for passes and make things happen. So a lot of fun coming up here. Love the area, and a little hotter than normal, but we'll have that.
That's what I was curious
I don't think you gain any, but I don't think you lose any. You know, on the NASCAR track, there's a great passing zone from turn out of the carousel, turn 5 into turn 6 or turn 10, however you want to call it, the left-hander. That's a great passing zone. We lose that with these cars, but you gain one going into, I think it's turn 7, and you gain one going into turn 8. So you maybe actually gain an extra passing zone, but definitely cuts the speed down. A little more technical the way that the road racers run it. You know, with the stock cars, you basically set up as a high-speed road course, a low-speed oval. With these cars, you have to set up for both left and right much more, and there's trade-offs always with it. So far so good though with the car. Car's been really good. We've second last year. Had a hell of a race with Dyson, and hopefully we finish first this year with another hell of a race. This is one of the few times going into qualifying where we're not really making any adjustments because it's hot today. Tomorrow we qualify at 8 a.m., so the track can be way down. And at that point, you're just kind of guessing on what the car needs. The car felt really good in this last practice in the heat. Hopefully the sun's shining tomorrow and it's a hot race because I think we got something for 'em.
Paul's going to get what he's hoping for, Andy. It's going to be a warm one out there for sure. And talking to some of the other drivers, they expect it to get very slick out there, which is exactly what Paul's looking for.
This track abuses tires. You are in constant high load. Even your inside tire that's getting kind of dragged around the inside. Got to be careful with how much camber you run, so it will be a tricky for tires and drivers.
Good thing we got those Pirellis.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's head back down. Eddie once again.
And here to give our invocation, he's been going to races here since the 1969 U.S. Grand Prix. Please welcome Marvin Gray.
Please remove your hats and let us pray. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here and the beauty of your creation at this historic track. Now we ask your blessing on all those that are involved today, the drivers, the crew, the officials, the track workers, the staff, all that helped to put this on. And Lord, we thank you for our fans. We pray your special blessing upon them. And now we ask your blessing on our troops, our safety forces, emergency workers, all those who serve us. And Lord, we pray for peace around the world. In your name we pray, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, nicely done. Thank you. As we get ready and get a little closer to firing up the engines and getting this one underway. We have 3 different categories running here today. Obviously, we have the big, powerful Trans Am cars. Then we have 2 different categories of GT racing machines running with us today. And Andy Lally broke down the classes for us inside the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli.
The Trans Am Series has been around since 1966. What it has evolved to in that time is right here, a 900 horsepower, 2,800 pound beast. This thing produces over 2,000 pounds of downforce, flies around the track on 18-inch Pirellis. They're 14 inches wide at the rear, 13 inches wide at the front, 18-inch wheel. Hauling tail around here. They're one of the most vicious cars around. No traction control, no ABS, just a fire-breathing V8 flying around at 200 miles an hour. We have a wide variety of examples to run in our XG class. This is a Corvette. It's got 600 horsepower at the wheels, and it's run on the 18-inch Pirelli tires again. It's making a lot of downforce, and you're allowed a lot of variations in XGT. So we're going to see cars from all over the world competing. High horsepower, high speed. These cars have ABS, but they are not allowed traction control. Right between our GT class and our XGT class is ST. This is a very versatile car right here. This is a Howe chassis A2 that it started life at, but it's eligible SGT. You add 100 pounds, it's still the same Chevy LS motor, same Pirelli tires, same everything, but it's eligible to go race against the Porsche, the Mustang, and the Corvette that were more popular cars in this class. The 3 GT classes that we have in the Trans Am series is GT, SGT, and XGT. This is an example of our XGT cars. We've got a lot of different makes in this class because we're catching cars from all around the world. This is a Mercedes. It's producing about 550 horsepower. It's going up against some cars that have over 600 horsepower. This car in particular makes a ton of downforce. We're on our 18-inch Pirelli tires, and we've got probably 1,500 pounds worth of downforce that we get on here. And now moving on to our GT class. Here we've got a Mustang, 475 horsepower, 6-speed paddle shift. It's big downforce with the wing. It's got a huge splitter up front here. Also on our Pirellis, like every other car in our Trans Am series here, this car is going to go up against a wide range of marques here. We've got Aston Martin here. We've got Maserati here. We're racing against Porsches. We've got an Audi GT4 car here. Our GT classes encompass cars from around the planet, and the racing is amazing.
One of the exciting things about the Trans Am series by Pirelli is you get this wide variety of race cars, Andy.
It is for sure. We attract makes and marques from all over the place. We fit them into 3 different classes. Our SGT has typically been our most popular on that side. And yes, they're going to be a handful of seconds off our DA cars, but they are still absolutely flying around, especially at track Watkins Glen International.
Well, I know in some areas, for some people like my son Lucas, who's here with me today, at 11:30 in the morning, it's still pretty early on a Sunday morning to get up and get going, but it's time to wake up the neighborhood. Let's fire up the engines, Eddie.
And we're sitting down here at the starting grid, and it is a fantastic day for Trans Am racing. Chris Dyson looking to follow up on some of the success that he had at Road America and be able to drive that Jim lead forward into victory lane today. And he's going to be starting alongside a very challenging Adam Andretti. Going into practice and throughout qualifying, these top 3 separated by just around half of a second. Very close between Andretti, Dyson, and Menard. All 3 of these drivers have race pace. They're going to be right at front of the field throughout the course of the weekend. Also, keep an eye on guys like Tomy Drissi. And on top of that, Kez Grolla, who, as I mentioned, made a dominant win in his last start, Trans Am. That was in 2022 at Road America. Grolla was the winner at Road America and also qualified on pole. Race before that he ran in 2022 at Ohio. You're going to see him that bright pink T machine, and we're going to also see some competitive GT cars on top of that. Josh Carlson, who has been the class field in the SGT class, has been fantastic throughout the course of the season, and he has been able to win a majority of the race across the course 2025 as that championship firmly in hand. So for Carlson, looking for yet another class win here at Watkins Glen. And we just have a great atmosphere for fans being able to take the chance to walk and be able to take the chance to meet the drivers. And that's one of the fantastic things about ending a Trans Am event. You get the chance to get right up close and personal with all of racing, and you get a chance to be able to see the cars as close as they are. And now we have excited young fans right here to give us the start command for today's race.
Drivers, fire your engines!
Well, I'll tell you, fire them up, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
pretty
that
good,
enthusiasm.
enthusiastic group of guys there. Guys and gals, our friends, our young fans. I like seeing them the most out at the track. I know that's how I got hooked, and great to see these fans enjoy a nice sunny day at Watkins.
If you'd have told 6-year-old me I would have had a chance to say engines, I would have been out of my mind. Hey, this version of me would be out of my mind.
I've still to do this.
I did it once. Did it once at a USAC Crown race. It was great. All right, getting closer to the start. Stay with us here on Sport 1.
Yes. Hi. WeatherTech's here.
Weathered is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. These are measured for liners, no drill mud flaps, car liner, bump step, seat protector, and hub phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proof and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you, hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names performance. Priced to your project affordable. And it's all backed by tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
And we are back here at Watkins Glen International Raceway, just up the hill in the village of Watkins Glen, down along the shores of Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Beautiful part of the country as we look at Dick Pinteric's red, white, and blue with stars machine. And let's take a look at our track here. Andy, take me for a lap around this spectacular 3-mile facility.
One of the coolest racetracks on the road on planet here. We've got a downhill braking zone into our Mission Turn 1 and a downhill approach into our S's before compress huge up the hill to 234 for our Optima batteries S's, leading in still to an uphill back straightaway. That takes us to about 180-mile-an-hour approach into the world-famous bus stop, the Cube 3 chicane. This is one of the most challenging high-speed approach chicanes out there. You fly all 4 curbs before hitting the outer loop and dropping all the way back down through 5, 6, and 7. That's the latest toe, and then 8 is the heel of the boot, 9 is the exit of the boot, a super fast sweeping 10 and 11. Summit Racing turn 11 coming to our start-finish line here, and then over a 3.45-mile lap at Watkins Glen.
Should be seeing 2 pace laps here before this gets underway. In the field, there's our drone shot up over the chicane, the bus stop. Here comes the field, Trans Am machines.
And you know, I'm excited to see these drone shots. If we've got some cool drone shots of the cars flying the chicane curbing, that's going to look amazing. I know in our TA2 race yesterday, we had some great shots, and really looking forward to see what we got here this weekend with these TA2
It's our starting lineup. Dyson and Andretti on the front row, Menard and Drissi, Pirelli and Pinteric, Ruman and Masood, and then Josh Carlson and Beaton, followed by Mason and Grant.
Just 100 of a second between Andretti and Menard. Talk out that front row. Adam obviously on an attempt for a championship charge. He's the one chasing down our points lead, Paul Menard. It's the smallest that it's been in a while, with Andretti making up a bunch of spots last week, 2 races ago at America. And
here are the points. Menard has 673 to Andretti's 647. Dree mathematically still alive. Amy Ruman doing what she can to get some points here today. And Dyson, if he keeps on his winning ways, he's won 2 already this year. The team has won a total of 4. If he wins here today, it'll be win number 29 in his career. Ties him with the great Mark Donohue for second all-time on the win list, chasing and closing in on Paul Gentilotti's 31 victories overall in the series. So keeping it on that with Chris today.
Pretty amazing accomplishment in 8 years of driving in the Trans Series. And Chris sitting in P5 right now 502 points out. Realistically, he's looking shot at third in the championship, but one little hiccup from each one of our first and second place points leaders of Menard and Andretti, and he's in this championship hunt.
And we've seen that this year, right? We've seen Paul have problems at places like Road Atlanta, Adam with a big hit with Pintera at Sonoma. She's never know.
Especially at a place like Watkins Glen. You see how much space is between the edge of that track and that blue guardrail? There is not much room for error. You've got to gather it really quick and be really fast those reactions to keep it off of these walls.
So in talking to Adam earlier, I said, how are you going to play turn one on the opening lap? He said, well, it all depends on what Paul Menard does. If Paul Menard dives to the inside, he's going to shoot for the crossover and try to come back underneath. If Menard doesn't get there, just Adam and Dyson side by side going into one. I said I'll hang on the outside, try to use all that runoff, pinch maybe Dyson down a little bit, see if I can take it from there.
Sometimes that might be an unrealistic view on a road course into turn one, but the amount of banking that you pick up after the brake zone just at the apex is huge. So that outside line is absolutely usable for an outside pass.
The other thing to keep an eye on, these cars are full of fuel and the tires are not full to temp yet. Chris Dyson telling me the first couple runs through the S's are going to be just frightening from the driver's position. So here we go, looking for the green flag to get this 50th running of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli underway here at the famed Watkins Glen International. We're green and racing live, Speed Sport 1. Here comes turn one. Andretti on the outside, Dyson inside. Andretti trying to pinch him, right alongside as they come in to the Optima battery S's. Here comes Menard.
Just like I was talking about, that grip that you can use on the outside, Adam was able to get those tires up to temp and launch out of that S, is giving him a commanding lead, 10 car lengths straight away, as leaves Chris and Paul fighting for second.
Look, a gap he's open, and here comes the chicane. Andretti first one in. Dyson also telling me you can't attack the chicane as hard on these first two laps as you will about lap 30.
You've got to be careful on cold tires anytime you're at Watkins Glen here. You pound these cars so hard that you got to watch out on low pressures. But Adam Andretti is thinking win, he's thinking championship, and he's going straight away trying to open up that gap as much as he can.
He couldn't have played those first couple of corners any better than he did.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it from Adam before. We've seen that attack initially. This is a great opening lap here for him. We're seeing Kazla close in on Drissi as Dyson and Menard are trying to sort of find their own there. A little bit gap, comfort, no challenge their way, but we definitely do have a for fourth and fifth there.
All of the NASCAR star running right behind Drissi in that, I don't know what you would call it. It's not exactly purple, kind of pinkish. Challenger went out to Pancho Weaver's shops, and we've seen that car be very fast. Over the course of the year.
We've seen Kaz be very quick. We've seen his car on the hands of other drivers.
Boris said won that car this year.
Yep. Boris said, Brent Cruz, Overplay, the new sponsor on there. Really cool app. You guys got to download that and check out.
Yep. It's in the App Store, and you can shoot a little video clips and then go to the app, and it turns their video clip into a game. Really neat. All right, here comes Dyson up through those Optima battery S's with Menard trying to hang on his tail. Reach speeds of 180 miles an hour before the massive commitment into the chicane.
That is
here.
1.5 seconds that Adam opened up on the first lap. Now, at this stage in the game, knowing how hot it is out there, knowing the fall-off that this track creates with tires, Paul looking to the inside of Chris, maybe a little bobble by crowd of the bus stop. Chris being a little defensive, run him a little bit wide.
Boy,
coming
that's
through
aggressive
there.
in there, isn't it?
I think Paul playing the smarter game here, understanding there's still 90-some-odd miles left here. Chris showing a little bit of a door, Paul backing off, knowing that he's got room to go here.
And that's beautiful for Adam, because that's allowing him to gain a couple more tenths here and there, and just gap these two. Plus, it's going to force those two to eventually, Dyson and Menard, work those Pirellis harder to catch back up to Adam.
When you are leading a race and can look in your mirror and see second, third side by side, that's the best you could ask for, because those guys are going to beat each other up. Paul is coming off corner here. That off the heel, off the exit, a run each time. It's like he's either got really good drive off or a little bit more power under that hood there.
Swing wide out of turn 11 and down a long front straight here. And those Pirellis have got to be good. And by now, here comes Menard attacking inside 1-1. backs out of it just before the apex.
Boy, that's a guts call on both of their part here. Chris did not throw the lock. He was confident in his brake zone that he'd be able to go a little bit deeper. Paul took lunge, but on the maturity level took over. He realized he was probably going to get a little bit up alongside Chris. Off to race another handful of corners here.
And Drissi hanging back there in fourth, just behind Menard in the black and gold trench-wearing Motul Camaro.
Saw Chris push a little wide for drone view through the bus stop there. Again, we've seen this Chris in the past. It takes that car a while to get the front grip in. It takes those pressures a little long to come up. Whether those front pressures are lower, I'm not sure. But we've got, this is super typical Dyson Menard battle here. Whether they're first and second, third, or on down that line, they're always next to each other.
And Amy Ruman has made her way to pit lane in the number 7 trench-shorn Motul machine out of the Drissi Racing Stables, looking at Chris Dyson, trying to hold off Menard as they come back up at the boot.
I think what we saw there, I'm not sure if they explained that pre-race here, but Tomy Drissi competing with Amy for third in the points now, extended an olive branch after all their battles, and lent her that car so that she could at least start this race and points. Paul Menard now looking inside Christensen a lot earlier than last time.
Yep.
Can he be
He's
better
there.
at brakes?
Boy, Dyson can only turn in so hard, and man, Menard gives it back to him.
Man,
He was right there, Andy.
He was. Chris turned in a little bit earlier, sort of a little bit of a challenge. Are you ready to go door-to-door and knock some mirrors off?
Dyson some 2.7 seconds behind Andretti now. That gap getting bigger.
And again, you can see from that drone footage when they roll through there, Paul was able to keep a tighter arc, curb 2 and 3, and that's always. Oh,
He's
Paul
slowing. And so is Dyson. We're going full
I
course
think we'll
caution for
course
some
caution here. That was Paul backing
Yes.
off. I think he's the yellow beforehand. We've got a debris flag in turn 1. We might have some oil down here. Trying to get a word from our official here.
Masood all the way down in 12th. Not sure what has happened to the 21. Maybe if he's tied to the flag, because Masood had issues with that car earlier today too, getting ready for qualifying. Yep, there's the debris flag. So you see the yellow and red flag signifying debris and oil potentially on the track. Carlson leading in his GT category. He's 7th overall, but first in SGT. And then we have, here's Dyson.
Obviously, these drivers, as they get yellow, they want to actually, where a lot of times we want to keep these tires hot. You know, in a situation where they're getting too hot, we're not going to see them scrubbing the tire unless they go through some sort of debris, something, and need to get some marble. They're going to chill out. Right now, we're at what we call a code 60, which that is an immediate freeze on our speed, and all the drivers have to drive 60 miles an hour. You think it looks right now like they're doing 50 miles an hour out there. That's 60 miles an hour. Look on board here. You can see over Tomy Drissi's shoulder, going down to 50 for a corner. Our top speed when we're at code 60 is 60 miles an hour. That lets since it's high speeds, it lets our safety roll out those same speeds and not worry about the closing and the dangers of cars flying around here catching up still at 180 miles an hour plus as they try to worry to catch up to the pace car quickly.
So while they take care of the racetrack, we will take care of business. And we will return live here for Watkins Glen International Raceway. This one has just got started. Andretti leading so far every lap here at Glen. Stay with us for live coverage. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli on Sport 1. Be right back.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way to get information to drivers is from using the Box XGT system.
There's her set.
One place you overtake her at Sebring is really good in the brake zones. Like one right here.
Go around. There's the green. Her back in it. Look out, Miller, look out.
Back here at Watkins Glen, it's Kaz Ralla's car, the number 2, is bringing engine issues as the reason for the full course caution. They have pulled the number 2 off the racetrack. And we also have Amy Ruman out and Masood in the 21.
That's going to move David Pintera up to 5th place in TA. He's going to be back in Tomy Drissi. They had a little come together at Road America, a little drama. We missed it on the TV side, but they, at a really just after the kink, almost one of the highest speeds on the track through the sweeper, David and Tomy got together. A little bit of a that's racing sort of thing, but it took a bit of nose off of David, who was hustling, trying to make that pass. They came there. David had to come for some repair. So still a friendly rivalry, but a rivalry here. So I'll be looking for that to see who can take over the place position here between Drissi and Tarek.
While we follow pace car a little bit, let's go look back to start this initial start of the race and watch Andretti on the outside in the top liner Chevy Camaro, white and blue. Let's see how he gets around Dyson. On the outside here, forces the Jim Weed Mustang down inside as they come to the next set. Into the S as they go, and Adam around outside and gone.
And he just held it wide open. Chris, again, typically starts with a little bit of understeer. It's the biggest feedback that I typically get from him. So not wanting to wreck it out in the first race, knowing Adam was still on the outside, gave him that lane there, and that gave Adam a wider, straighter drive off, a little bit more banking there, and he took advantage of it. Great job on him. That top liner car, Claudio, Damon, and the guys have been hustling hard to get that car fast and get it to the front so that they can give Adam a weapon to take to the fight with Paul Menard and try to get this Trans Am champion.
Yeah, and talking to Adam, he said that has really been putting in the hours trying to find any little advantage they can, and they feel like they found a couple of things aero-wise that are helping them out with that top liner Chevy, and it seemed to be showing in the early stages here. However, this full course caution is not what he wanted. He had a nice healthy 2-second lead, and that is evaporated. Let's see what he can do on the restarters. It looks like the pace car lights are out. We're about to go out.
It looks like the way they're heating up those tires, accelerating and decelerating here, that we're going to be coming back for a single file restart. We'll probably see these pace car lights shut out momentarily on the entry to the heel of the booth. Adam's back pads of those mighty, grippy Pirellis as we get ready to roll back into action here. There'll be some speedy dry